Welcome back again, guys, and in this lecture we're going to be calling subroutines. So again, this is section 5, lecture 3. So let's jump right into it. So calling subroutines. Why would we want to call subroutines? Well, of course, subroutines make our job a lot easier. So calling a subroutine, we simply use the AND character followed by the name of the subroutine. That's all that we do to call a subroutine. And for all of you previous programmers out there, the other terminology is methods and functions. So if you're using C++ in the past or C, they're called functions. But in Perl, it's called a subroutine. So for a quick example, this is how you define and call a subroutine. So again, we use the AND character first, followed by the subroutine name that we define. And again, we're using, or we have to use, the Perl identifier rules. In me, I just used letters and a underscore character. So I used a mixture of both to define my subroutine, which is print underscore name. And I set up another one for add underscore numbers. And I'll show you guys how to use these in our examples as well. So let's jump in right into our examples and I'll show you some live demonstrations. So first thing first, let's start by defining our subroutine. So again, we're going to use the keyword sub, and it's going to be followed by the name of the subroutine. So I'll call it print underscore name, followed by a pair of parentheses. I skip a line from my parentheses and set up my curly braces so I can include some Perl instructions. I'll put a tab to make it a lot more cleaner and readable. And what I'll do here, I'll call a built-in subroutine by Perl, which we've currently been using, called print. Add my double quotation marks. Hello. You have created your first subroutine in Perl. Okay, so I'll do that. And what I'll do again, I love to copy and paste. So I'll copy that subroutine and I'll just paste it in and I'll just modify bits and parts. So for the second subroutine that we went over in my lecture, is called add numbers. Okay, and I'll modify our print statement. Let me just erase this part. And what I'll do as well, right above the add numbers, let me declare some scalar variables. So I'll just call this x is equal to 6 and y is equal to, let's say, 8. And I'll define another result variable. So results equals, and I'll do some math, some kind of math operation on this. So I'll say x multiplied by y. And I'll just print my results. Well, you know what? Since it's called add numbers, let's just do the addition operator. And I'll put them in a pair of parentheses. Add a new line character. I'll do that. So let's call our first subroutine, which is called print name. So I'll just copy our subroutine name. But first, I'll put a comment calling our subroutines. So again, we start with our and character, followed by the name. And I'll do the same thing with our add numbers. The and character, add underscore numbers. Okay, so if I'm right, let me save my work. And the first thing it's going to do, let me add some new line characters as well to give it some space for our subroutines. And let's go up to run, click run script, and let's see what happens. Dun, 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 dun. That's exactly what we wanted Perl to do. So again, at the bottom, it called our first subroutine that we defined, which is called print name. And if we go to our command prompt, it says, hello, you have created your first subroutine in Perl. It skipped 2 lines with our new line characters, and it did some addition on our second subroutine, which 6 plus 8 equals 14. So again, if we go down to our second subroutine, here we have it. And of course, we're just giving it a print instruction or print subroutine to do some output for us. So again, in a nutshell, that's how we call subroutines in Perl. We just use the and character first, followed by the subroutine name, and that's it. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and I'll see you guys in our next lecture.